We got ourselves Kiosk first out over for the team. On the team, we got ourselves Barak the Feral Druid. We got Heicha joining as a Destro Warlock. We got Olisai back at him, one of my favorite mugs, as well as Thrall Hall. I am a big fan of that Legion set. Looks so good. Kiosco out and running with a pet, and that's going to be Smog first up as an Evoker, Nullifying Shroud, not playing the augmentation, instead full Developer Evoker. Dev Evo with a big old beams out to Kiosco. Kiosco does go for a Fade Death, setting up a Death Shock him. Smog, have himself a wall ready to go, looking for a bit of healing, trying to see if he can catch up a little bit of survivability, getting root onto the pet, is still able to avoid a lot of the Death Shock him value for Kiosco. That's quite a lot of damage that's missing for this man. But Kiosk, I think, is just buying himself some time, trying to be very careful. Once he established some proper crowd control with Smog, waiting until the Shroud is gone. That's going to be full burst out of the Evoker. Big fire, red does get disrupted onto the blue cast, but it's going to be a wall with a bit of CC just to add a little bit of control. That's going to be tricked out of the scatter. Stun right after Smog is in big trouble. Needs something to get him topped off back, but I think the Dragon is just down for the count as Kiosk looking to chop away at the little bits of the man left. That does go in for a final Mongoose bite at the very end. This man just chopping these dragons up. He's going to make some boots out of them. Over to that team one. Now that the dragon is gone, Katarina ready to go. I'm liking that set actually. That looks good. That Tabard too. Don't really see it a lot. Forkbeard on that team. Grifka as well as Plush. The double trouble rogues are back in here. It's Kiosk with a flare. Doesn't really know who he's going to be going up against. Plush actually getting caught out with a flare, and Kiosk taking the advantage, going on the aggression. Got him some scatter, stun onto Plush, big death shock him, massive damage. Hopefully he's ready for the next go. Plush just going for the Cloak of Shadows. Death shock him still spinning all around him. Might get him out of combat. No sap either way though. It looks like maybe evasion or cloak just give him enough of a dodge capabilities against it. Sack for Kiosco, trying to deny a lot of the crit damage for Plush. It's going to be dropping down a steel trap on the guy off of that freezing trap, and is looking for a bit of recovery. Plush hasn't gotten the trick out of the guy at all. You're going to have to chip away at Kiosco's defenses, but as soon as you get a trinket, your next go could be a guaranteed banger. Another kidney shot right after. DR though, so it gives Kiosco a little bit of a chance. Still doesn't stop the rogue from unleashing an absolute flurry of shadow strikes. That's going to be big. Explosive intro flare. Plush has nowhere to go. Needs another vanish right now, but a kill shot's going to get him super low. Death, that's going to be, oh, death throws for the rogue. It does go down. Cheat death does nothing. Kiosk has been cheated before for that death, but he does claim the victory yet again from one rogue. And into the next. Oh no, from one to the next. This is where you would have needed a breather. But it's good. Do you guys just want to switch out and maybe have Grifka go after? Maybe like switch her up, give Kiosk maybe a standing chance, because double rogue back to back, that is rough, man. I don't know if there's a lot of class that can deal with it. Does go for Fortification of Bear, but maybe just delaying the inevitable with a bit of a survival of the fittest. But is this man fit enough to survive? Scatter shot, trying to make sure that he can go a little bit aggressive versus Grifka with a cloak. That's going to be quite a bit of damage taken, equalizing each other's health bar, but that is our rogue. They are not going to go down without a fight all that easily. Kiosk is still holding on to Trinket Vanish. Flame gets him on the open. This could be good for the Hunter. Getting quite a bit of damage. Cheap shot right after. Does go for the Trinket. Disarm to the Rogue immediately. Throwing in grenades. Trying to see if he can maybe build up a little bit of momentum into a charge trap. The Rogue has advantage, but a Hunter's Mark is on him. No way to get rid of the Hunter's Mark. So even advantage does not get you reset, but it does give you back your cooldowns, which is going to be huge for Grifka. Wants to go for a kidney shot. This is where Kiosk needs something. Does he have anything at all? No Trinket for a while. He may just need to find a way to pre-turtle a kidney. If he can do that, he'll be golden. Try to see if he can avoid Rogue Scatter. Does he have a stun? Explosive kidney, you just gotta live it. You just gotta find a way to live it. That is a big damage to the rogue, but a massive shadow strike, the massive secret technique, there's just not much you can do. Once he has you in their clutches, it is over. He played super well. I feel like the only way you really outplay that is if you just become clairvoyant all of a sudden and find a way to predict the kidney shot with the turtle shell. That's about all I could think of. Or maybe turtle just until you can get your stun back, but even then, like, that's a rogue with cheap death. That was rough, man. That was so rough. As it's going to be cheap shots onto Heichala. Back-to-back Grifka. Not really going in for a big committed opener, but rather a little bit of a hit and run. Get in, slam some damage. Got himself Cloak shot his back up. Trying it up with the Infernal. The Infernal is not really staying on top of Grifka at all. I don't think Shala is playing with any kind of pets. We're not going to be seeing the Succubus play to pull the rogue out of that pillar. It's just going to be down to the Warlock trying to give himself as much damage as possible and hope the damage will be enough. Mad damage out of the Rogue though. Heichala is just absolutely getting decimated into blind right after as Grifka trying to get himself a bit of a reset. Hey Grifka, really quick, in chat, Grifka, can you comment? Is it supposed to be Grifika or are you cool with me calling you Grifka? Because I've been calling you Grifka for like ever. And at this point, it sticks. I did the same thing to the Christina, the Feral Druid, like for it feels like years that I know the guy. That's not his name, but that's what I called him, and that kind of stuck. I'm starting to wonder, like, maybe I should give some respect to this name, because this man is just absolutely slaughtering these boys out in the arena. I mean, a rogue walks in. Rogues definitely maintain that dominance for 10-1-7. I do wonder if that's going to change for 10-2, but the fact that the class is getting a revamp and only getting a bunch of goodies week after week of PTR, yeah, I don't think it's going to change. It's a challenge. Try to catch up a little bit of healing. I think Grifka's just denying and delaying his cooldowns. He knows there's a warrior going to be up next. That warrior's ready. The guy's just ready to go. And Grifka, I think, just waiting until I can get my advantage back and get some cooldowns back together. I'm not losing this one. I'm just going to play a little bit close. As Thrall needs to find a way to slam out the rogue as soon as possible. I think this is going to be maybe either where Thrall needs to find... This might be the pivotal point where Thrall needs to find a way to turn around with Grifka. But its secret technique is definitely going to set you back. Cheap shot right after. Absolutely getting decimated by the rogue. Catching up a little bit of a breather with that disarm, but an evasion stops a lot of it go. Does have the bleed. Actually gets a trinket out of Grifka off of that shockwave. I am surprised the man committed a trinket for that. Stormbolt not going to be that strong, but at least you got yourself a little bit of survivability. Waited out that evasion on top of it, which is massive. Building the pressure versus the rogue. If you can maybe find them, maybe has a bleed on the guy. Does have a bleed. If you have a lead to reconnect, you may be able to do so. I think he's just trying to see if he can avoid him, maybe catch him second when healing, but the guy's not going to let you do that. He's just trying to deny that healing. You do have a defensive, though. You may be looking at using one, does get to use the enrage regeneration, but will it be enough, though? As the cheap shot comes through, Grifka is back up to full blind as soon as the warrior trying to reconnect, and Grifka, again, does not 1 second win to kick him at all. So he does keep him out of stealth, but for Thrall, like, is at least able to pull the guy from a pillar. Stormbolt does connect, finally can get some damage out. It's going to be full set of cooldown, stun right after. You just got to find a way to live the next one. Disarm, try to see if you can get yourself a little bit more of that survivability, but a cloak denies that entirely, just absolutely removes it. The guy just covers himself with a blanket. There goes the disarm. Thrall leaping back. Does he have a bleed on him, though? It's going to be rough, man. I don't know how you do this as a warrior. He got a trinket and has some cooldowns coming back up little by little. Maybe that'll be enough. Grifka opens up with a cheap shot. Going to be a Stormbolt for Thrall. I think he still was able to set up a bleed on the guy, right? At least, as long as you're next to the wall, he's not going to let you catch any kind of resets. I think he had to get in. Does get himself a solid heal, though. A decent heal with that impending victory at 56% dampening. Got himself a fear. Looking for that second win recovery. Does he get to? Grifka is going to have to get in there as soon as possible. He's going to pick up the eyes. You know where the rogue is at. If you can start catching up on that second win, you'll be golden. As long as you can just get yourself a little bit of that survivability here and there. But I don't know if he's able to pick up any. No, I think he's still just taking damage. That is unfortunate. Cheap shot. I think it's going to be over for the warrior, right? Secret technique. Yeah. Even through a stun, it's just over. Sealed your fate as soon as you press the ability. Holy Saya picking up the eye, or at least moseying over to it. In this kind of arena for Holy Saya, normally he's actually really good against rogues. Like, incredibly good against rogues. By the way, fantastic looking mount. But in this arena, all the pillars are kind of like very, very close to you. And there really isn't a good spot for you to stand in. That's going to be cheap shot by Grifka as he's the one picking up the eyes. Could maybe go for advantage. He's going to go for a full opener onto Holy Saya, denying him the eyes and denying him the ability to pop an immunity like Bubble or Bop. And then chase after the rogue while eyes are available. Trying to see if he can wake up Ashes, keeping him out of stealth. Double advantage available for the rogue in case he needs to. Evasion gonna help you, but only to a certain extent. A lot of that damage is thrown at you is holy strike damage. A mix of physical, but a good portion of that holy that still goes right through. And Grifka takes massive hits. Cloaker shot is right after. Could still go down either way. Get a shot. Holy Side does bubble, and Grifka does have the ability to vanish, and there's no eyes for Holy Side to pick up. Grifka stole those earlier, and unless you have some kind of like a dot that can live through Cloak of Shadows removal, there really isn't much that Holy Side could do in this kind of situation. Grifka moseying over to the other side. Holy, I think, is probably just going to hold his ground, wait for another set of eyes, and probably try to pair those once Forbearance is off. As Grifka pops out, got himself a cheeky little opener. Wake of Ash is massive damage for Holy, but a Cloak is back up, has himself advantage, so the rogue should be safe unless Holy Sire finds a way to lock him down. Does get a stun trinket out of the guy. Final wreck to follow. Evasion barely keeping alive, laying hands into the throughout the whole chaos mayhem. Eyes are back up. If Holy's careful, he could potentially pick those eyes on the far side. Grifka may be looking out for those as well. But while Holy Sire is in the distance, this is why I think Grifka is going to hit him with a sap. pick up the eyes, trying to see if he can deny him any eye opportunity. Get a shot right after. A trinket available, holding with the cheap shot right after. Needs someone to live this right now. Could be massive. It doesn't even matter that a mystery just dealt him in. Baragnas to get in, and this right now, full bleeds under Grifka. There's no way this rogue can survive this, right? And he does. He's accepted. Literally just sat down, accepted his fate. It's over. My God, this man just played it tooth and nail. Well done. There's some viscerates to it. Like, you know what? Watching a rogue kill somebody with a secret technique, that thing does a lot of damage. It's just like, man, kind of cheesy. But when the rogue lines up a perfect go, builds up a fat eviscerate, and crits with that, that feels satisfying. I don't know what it is. I think just one you have to work towards, and the other just send it, and it just does damage no matter what. I don't know. Something about that just feels weird. Forkbeard, are you playing single Mighty Fury? What is this? Play it out to a Fury, but Baraga bleeds on you unless you get some kind of way to heal yourself. Unless you can get back into combat with Barak, which is what you want to be doing as a Fury warrior. Get on those bloodthirsts back in, maybe pick up the eyes or something. You gotta find a way to shake off those bleeds. You are in Dark Iron, so you did already remove them with a racial. But right now you got just out in the open. As long as Barak keeps your blood up, I think he just wins. Dampening so high, and Barak does not really need to play aggressively. He could play the long game here because it actually helps him. Charge by Forkbeard, able to catch back in into a reflect, but unable to really stay on top of the Feral too well. Needs to go for damage at some point, but I think it just might be over. Trying to see if he can maybe come back with a bit of pressure. That's actually doing pretty good. Once he gets back into combat, Bloodthirst, impending victories. He's got himself topping off little by little. Barak, though, still holding on to wall, trying to see if he can maybe not use it until the last competitor, but does go in for the bite. And that's not enough. He's still unable to break past the Warriors' defenses. Does Forkbeard win this? Wait a second. If you got a dot, I think it's just over, right? Barrage? Can't read him. We got to get you a proper chance here. But man, the guy just kind of held off there for a while. Grifka with a 4. I didn't even realize he went for a 4 like that. That kind of flew by very, very quickly. Rogue fights. Yeah, I feel ya. I feel ya. I think we'll hopefully see more Assassination rogues and even Outlaw rogues next patch. Their play less around stealth. I think a reset is still important, but man, I think if we can get some variety that isn't just sub rogues with their vanishes, I think it's going to be